Hey friends, I just wanted to take some time today to share my story. I know there's a lot of new people here and some of you haven't heard this or you just haven't been able to come over to the Bible studies. So I just want to kind of give you insight as to where this started and why. So this is my story and follow along. Dear girls gone godly, for the past few years my phrase has been on repeat. From every test comes a testimony. Man, have we been tested. As most of you know, I grew up in a very loving home and church was basically my life from a baby forward. I accepted Jesus on May 18th, 1995 and have always had a relationship with him, but definitely had struggles and lost my way numerous times. Fast forward to 2014, I was involved at Fellowship Church and had just began dating Mikey, who was an unbeliever at the time. We married in 2015 and had our precious son in 2016 and life seemed good. Mikey continued to question God and if he even existed, but most of all, he struggled with alcohol. Our marriage began to take a turn. A new baby, new stress, and the continued party life he never wanted to give up. Through counseling, I was told, you will never change him. You will continue to be disappointed. I leaned in harder and started praying for my husband to find Jesus. Along with alcohol came anger, which in turn made me so resentful. I just kept praying. December of 2019, my husband gave his life to Christ. What a blessing and complete answer to prayer. What most people don't understand is that once you start to follow Jesus, life tends to become a bit harder and Satan tends to keep attacking over and over and over again. It is up to us to lean into Jesus and find our hope and our peace. A lot easier said than done. In 2020, COVID came and I decided to quit my 10-year job at the dental office because my joy had been completely ripped away at this point. I had my real estate license but wasn't able to use it because I worked way too much. I began to pray harder and let God know I was really in for this career change and knew he would provide what we needed. October of 2020, to our surprise, we became pregnant. Whoa, not great timing, but God had a plan. So I thought. I lost that baby in December, and as a first-time miscarriage, wow, my world was flipped upside down. At that point, I didn't know how much I truly wanted that second child. We decided we were going for it. I had no problems getting pregnant so quickly after another positive test, followed by another miscarriage in March of 21. What? Another devastation. Real estate was going phenomenal by now. What a blessing. And Mikey had started prime time and we were just cruising along. Summer of 21, I got pregnant for a third time. My doctor was on it. We were hopeful until the news came. The baby is not growing like it should, and in the next 2 to 3 weeks you will probably miscarry. Again, why? Why, God, is this happening to us? My prayer warriors were praying and were just in hopes that this baby would grow and we would not go through this again. I started to miscarry late July and physically lost that baby August 3rd of 2021. My doctor asked me to bring it in for testing, and we did, and found out that one of us had a chromosome issue that, due to our age, was causing me to miscarry each time between 8 and 10 weeks. The pain, physical and emotional, was unlike any pain. I questioned God so many times. Why? Why? Why me? Our hope for a baby and sibling for Jay was over. It was rough. I was depressed and sad in a place I had never been. I put on my smile, I sold more houses, and finally came to terms with it. Every once in a while, it would hit me out of nowhere. Grief is a crazy thing I don't think we will ever understand being on this earth. I rest in the fact that my grandmothers in heaven rocked my babies when I could not. I will see them again one day, and I find my hope in knowing that. Shortly after all of this, I received a call on September 21st, 2021 from Mikey telling me he had been in an accident and had rolled his work truck. I left Latham Bakery and went to find him. I arrived close to the scene and passed the truck on a wrecker and lost it. How did he just survive that? I pulled up and the fire chief approached me and said, "Ma'am, he's fine." He pointed to the sky and said, "Someone was watching over him today. People don't walk away from accidents like this." Mikey and I were driving home that day and he said, "There must be a purpose for me on this earth." Absolutely there was. From this accident came a really long process of trying to get another truck. That new used truck was a lemon and it was problems one after the other. He was out of work forever. Our marriage was suffering. Our finances were suffering, but God kept showing up and giving me more homes to sell. Prime time finally started running again, and we had also decided to sell our home while the market was at its best. We had a plan to build, but God said, no, I'm redirecting you. I had a home listed at 1700 Meadow Way, and it went under contract very quickly. Then the buyer could not sell his home. Back on the market, boom, market tanks. The seller and I had become friends, and she approached me and said, hey, why don't you buy this house? I explained we couldn't get the loan since we didn't have 2 years history with our new jobs. She told me her father is in property management and would owner finance this property for us. What? This does not happen. We were truly hearing God loud and clear. Pray about it. I'll never forget standing in church singing praise songs and seeing visions of Bible studies, parties with church friends, and events in this home on this beautiful property, all for His glory. What I forgot to mention at this point is that we were living at my parents', going back to marriage counseling, and Mikey had been living in an RV for over a week. Our marriage was in shambles. The stress of him not working was still there. Through counseling, a lot of prayer, and most of all, trusting God, we took the leap. We bought this house, and here we are today, living out God's purpose for this home. The time has come for us to use what God has given us, even when we didn't deserve it. We knew this was our blessing that came from the horrific year of tragedy because we stood the test, actually a lot of tests. As believers, we are tested more than those around us who don't believe. Satan knows how to attack those who are living out God's plan and purpose. Trust me, 2023 was another extremely hard year dealing with broken relationships that we had never imagined. We stand firm today believing that no matter what test, you will always have a testimony to share with others around you. We all go through the same battles, but it's how we fight them. Do not give up. Be strong and courageous. God will never leave you or forsake you. He loves you. Even on the dark days, even through the depression, even through the anxiety, even through the marriage problems, the alcohol, the miscarriages, there is nothing that cannot change or give you peace. My prayer is for you to just trust and obey. Thanks for listening, y'all.